College. Please let's clap for them for hosting us this morning. Beautiful morning. Is it a beautiful morning? Tell your neighbor, welcome to Kyambogo College School. Yes, that is a beautiful school, by the way. These are actually one of the founding schools in the country, for those of you who don't know. And so, big part of Kyambogo, I am part of the historical components of the education fingerprints of our elders, the former presidents who set up this institution. Colleagues, the theme of today is visualizing the purpose and the future of education. And we have been able to print for you documents, so you don't need to write that. Everyone has this copy. This copy, everyone has it. So we're just on that theme. The theme of today is visualizing the purpose and future of education in the global south towards 2050. 2050. For us, we're already in 2057. We are here to walk in the dynamics of 2050. And that's the importance of making sure that our students are here. You are here to prepare the country, have foots and the heads and the hands for 2050. So Dr. Tony Divine brings that rich narrative, the tools of enabling us start walking in the future, 2050. Delivering the blueprint for transforming education and its outcomes for social, economic stability of Uganda. So that is the theme of today, and I wish to invite the head teacher of Kyambogo College, our host, to receive us officially and to tell us a few words of how we must move today. So please join me in giving a hand of applause to the head teacher of Kyambogo College who's coming to welcome us in her school. You're welcome, madam, so that you can now talk to us. Is the head teacher ready? Okay, she's arriving. Okay, wonderful. She's arriving. There are quite a lot of transformation that has happened in this school. Aware that we started with this school with the old Kampala to have our program, the CCI. Madam, you're welcome, please. You can come and receive us officially before we start anything. This is your territory. May God bless you, ma'am. We thank you.
Thank you. Our esteemed visitors this morning, invited visitors and school representatives, allow me welcome you officially to Kyambogo College School. You're most welcome. I'm called Harriet Margaret Apolot, Deputy Teacher in charge of administration and welfare in this institution. And among us, we have the administrators of top management for recognition. May I request them to stand up and wave to all of you. Administrators, top management administrators available. Thank you so much. We are the members and we work together in this institution. The head teacher is Mr. Mugume Stanley. He's not able to be with us this morning because he's attending a very important workshop also for SCP that is being hosted by Uganda for all principals in Africa, and it started today up to Thursday. But he's here with us spiritually, and he has given us his communication, the message that I'm going to present all of us verbatim. His message goes, message from Mr. Ngume Stanley, the head teacher at Kyambogo College School. Good morning, esteemed education leaders, teachers, students, and honored guests gathered here at Kyambogo College School. I'm Stanley Ngume, that is this message I'm reading verbatim. Your head teacher, and it's with a heart full of gratitude and pride that I welcome you to this half-day capacity building training workshop on a blueprint for transforming education, accelerating the path of national transformation. Today, August 2025, marks a powerful moment, and we stand together in our hall here, united under the motto of this institution, Duke in Alto, to go deep into the waters of change. For over 2 decades, he has been a head teacher across Uganda, shaping the young minds with a vision of creating a society of diligent, skilled, socially responsible, and useful citizens who strive for excellence. Our mission at Kyambogo College School is to provide affordable, equitable, and all-round education with scientific, technical, cultural skills, and attitudes. Resonate deeply with the purpose of this gathering today, our values being God-fearing, responsible, honesty, trustworthy, fairness, and humble, guides us as we open our doors to 108 participating schools from all the invited schools for this workshop. So let's clap for ourselves. We've invited very many, and we hope some of them will join us by the minutes to come. These schools are so many. He has mentioned them here. We have Kalnabiri SS, Kololo SS, Old Kampala SS, Lubiri SS, Chitante Hill School, Makerere College School, Makai College, Chibuli High School, Mengo SS, Luvera SS, Lakeside College, Luvera, Kololo High School, Namiliango College, King's College Budo, Nabisunsa Girls, Matters High School, Rubaga Girls SS, St. Peter's in Zambia, St. Joseph's Girls in Zambia, Poma Girls High School, Progressive SS Chitintale, Elite High School, Bethany High School, Bishop Cipriano High SS, Shoma Christian Academy, Kreka High School. We have Martin Luther King College, Kreka, Kyambogo Primary School, Kalnabiri Primary School, Kamuli Church of Uganda Primary School, Hillside Nasaran Primary School, Fairway Primary School, Profana Primary School, St. Francis Primary School, Kreka Grammar Junior School. All those, as you heard, have been invited, and it's a very important day for us today. He goes ahead to say, you are all part of this transformative journey. Today we are honored to host Dr. Tony Divine, the Vice President of the Global Peace Foundation's Education Division, a man with over 40 years of NGO leadership. Can we give him a very big hand clap? Thank you so much, Doctor, for being with us, and we are really excited to share with you this very important information that you've carried for us. His blueprint for transforming education has shaped systems across Kenya, the Philippines, Uganda, India, and beyond, impacting countless educators and school programs like the Character and Creativity Initiative, Leap Hubs, Great Places to Schools, Transforming Education, online courses, and Transforming Education, the Global South. Towards 2025 reflection, his dedication to fostering ethical leadership and lifelong character has earned found Future of Education and Skills 2020-2030 advisory effort in Uganda. Is Peace Service Ambassador. We also have around, that is Ambassador Milton Kyambogo. I don't know whether he's around. Most welcome. We are so grateful to have you this morning. The President of Global Peace Foundation, whose vision drives our work. Besides him, Education Coordinator, we have Mr. Okech Richard, our own. You're most welcome, sir. Thank you so much. Who has tirelessly organized for this event, ensuring every detail aligns with the goals. To them and to all the Global Peace Foundation, thank you so much. We are honored to have you. Your commitment to sustaining development goals on quality of education, aligning the curriculum with the 21st century needs, Uganda's vision of 2024 and Agenda 2063 aligns in the path forward. This workshop from 9 a.m. to midday will address academic performance, discipline, education, job market mismatch, and character development. So that's what we expect as we sit here from our dear guests. We are grateful for the support of our deputy teachers in charge of curriculum and clubs, our directors of studies, the Peace Club patrons, and the student leaders who have joined us to host this event today. Thank you so much for the support. Our public address team, furniture and sanitation facilities are very ready and will be in use. I invite all our teachers who are here, and I want to thank you for coming. I don't know where they are. Please stand up for recognition. Those from this institution, wave to her team. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. As we begin, let us reflect on the privilege of this moment. Education is our tool to build peaceful, prosperous society. I urge all of you, principals, directors, governors, to adopt this blueprint, declare transformative outcome, and drive change. Together, let's honor the legacy of those who came before and committed the future where every child thrives. With this, I want to thank you all and welcome you to this function. May God bless you, Duke in Alto. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, our host, Principal or Head Teacher of Kyambogo College School. Thank you, Madam. She has ably welcomed us, and we want to give her again another round of applause. It is now my duty to invite the next person who will invite the facilitator. Before I do that, allow me to also, on my own behalf, welcome you to Kyambogo College School. I am a staff here. I'm the Quality Assurance Officer of the college. I'm Assistant Head Teacher. I teach history. I'm the parent, I'm the father. I'm called Salongo, actually. So you're most welcome. Salongo is welcoming you to the college as well, in my own behalf. So I'm the one who was behind the scenes, making all the calls, inviting you here and communicating on behalf of Ambassador Milton Kyambogo, who is the chapter president. They will introduce us officially as far as Global Peace Foundation is concerned. Allow me to, first of all, recognize by way of attendance or participation people who have come. First and foremost, we are blessed to have Dr. Mary Anyango. That is our boss in Nakawa, education supervisor. Education supervisor. So, Madam Harriet, while she's here, I hope we are going to have tics. You know, education supervisors at Ministry of Education, and then KCCA are inspectors. When they come, they have a secret appraisal they do. So they are checking, how is this, how is this. I hope when you live here, Madam Supervisor, we will get a very good ranking among the schools that you supervise in Nakawa. We are very, very blessed to have you as a top leader representing a government, to be a participant and an observer, and also we shall request maybe at an opportune time that you give some comments before you leave as we proceed with the workshop. So we had requested or invited education supervisors from the 5 divisions. Some of them may come today, others will attend the second function, which is tomorrow, which is for directors or heads of institutions at commissioner level, director level at the ministry and KCCA. However, we had also wanted that our supervisors come here because this event is formally communicated to the permanent secretary. She has a copy of the activities that are going on. So that is to assure the participants here that what we are doing is within the ambit or within the blessing of the Ministry of Education. Allow me to also to recognize the people who are representing the head teachers. The different schools have sent teams. Head teachers could not attend. They are attending an Africa conference of principals in the union. However, they delegated people to come here, and so we are blessed to have deputies and directors of studies who are leading their delegations. We honor you, and we are very much blessed and recognize you. In particular, I recognize Mr. Kaoma Robert, deputy teacher of Kamuli, Church of Uganda Primary School. I recognize the acting principal, Shoma Christian Academy, Madam Trust Yongera. She was among the first here. This is a unique school, Shoma Christian Academy. It is a Christian school. It has, I think, nursery, primary, and secondary. It has all the levels. It's just in Itinda there. And we are very, very fortunate that they have graced this occasion. We have Mr. Kamoga Mohammed, deputy head teacher, Chireka High School. We are blessed to have you. You are most welcome. The number of directors of studies. I've been a director of study for almost 7 years, about 6 years. So we are the workhorse of the schools. Please, directors of studies, just stand for recognition. The teachers, the deputies, they are supervisors. The workhorse of the school is the director of studies. And within 2 years, they grow white hair because they have to do all the management at the operational level. So we are very happy to have you. I will not read your names immediately to time. I don't know whether I missed any deputy because they are representing the teachers. Mr. Kabuma Robert, deputy teacher. I think I've read that one. Yes. So others, as they arrive, we shall recognize them as time goes. Let's briefly go to the overview of the workshop. This workshop, as you've heard, is centering on a presentation on the blueprint for transforming education in the global south. And Uganda is blessed that Dr. Tony Divine from USA, Seattle, Washington, has picked few countries which he's working with as model countries as far as transforming education is concerned. Uganda is among the top, Kenya and the Philippines. There are other places he goes, but he's more of us, one of us now. And I think we should give him a chief stool, a stool. In Africa, the big vista is given a stool, and sometimes a spear and a shield. So we want to crown you as one of our African leaders now, because you're working with us to change the education, to transform education. So that is the general theme, a blueprint. And you have a document, a 2-page document, which is a summary or a concept of what he's going to present. We hope by mid-day to conclude this workshop. We want it to be as short as possible, and we allow him to make the presentation. Then in subsequent opportunities, there will be another strategy of trying to follow up on this blueprint. So the outcomes will be, number one, that we adopt this blueprint, as you heard from the teacher's speech. It's a blueprint. A blueprint is like a plan. It's a pathway. It's directing us that this is the way to go. And if we are talking about transforming this nation, we cannot talk about transformation of the country without transforming education. So this is a very big event, and I think even media is supposed to be here. Second outcome is that we become transformative educators and student leaders. When you go back, transformation should begin with you, should begin with me. We are not just going to carry material and pass them over. As you will see by the end of this workshop, he is going to challenge us to be transformative educators and student leaders, because the change starts with us. Third, we will also we are going to go through a declaration on transforming education outcomes in our schools and also in our country. There are things that we will paint that will show that this can change in a school setting. We don't need to wait for the ministry to inject billions or trillions of shillings in education to make this change. There are things we can do, what we call outcomes. At the classroom level, if you are a leader of sports, you're a sports master, you are a senior man, senior woman, you are a deputy in charge of this, there are things we can do, which we call education outcomes. So we expect that when we go to our schools, we shall have a map of what is expected by the schools from us. That when we go to our schools, we go back, what are we going to do to change where we are? If it is sanitation, if it is environmental protection, and so on and so forth. So we expect to go and do that. So we are going to look at the ambassador will present the declaration for us to adopt. And of course, this is a room for us to meet. I'm seeing new people who have not interacted with in this education program. I'm delighted to mention, let me single out Kawempe Muslim. Let me just mention Kawempe Muslim. It's a big honor to have you. We have not had you before with us. And of course, apart from the CCI schools, patrons of CCI schools, patrons just wave or stand up. We have what we call Character Creativity Initiative Schools. We've been working with them for over 10 years. These are the patrons. But outside these 10 schools, that is Kyambogo College, Kalinabiri, SS, Chitanje Hill School, Makerere College, Makai College, the VDSS, which one have I left out? Kasao SS is here, all the way from Sensibwa, but she's more of us now, Madam. So apart from those 10 schools, you're most welcome, sir. We have the other new schools that are accepting to join this journey with us. That's why I singled out the Muslim. And I've also seen, I hope Chibodi is going to be here, but the teachers convinced me that they are going to send teams. So maybe because of one reason or another, they are held up. But the new schools, I think, apart from Muslim, Mengo SS, are you here now? Yes? Yes? Mengo? Finally here. Then Progressive Tintale, the head teacher told me is on the way. So after saying that, allow me not to use up the airtime of Dr. Divine. Mr. Ezra, please step forward. Mr. Ezra is the president of Family Peace Association, which is a sister organization of Global Peace Foundation. So he's a man propounding and promoting the family at the core of national stability. Please come and welcome our distinguished facilitator. Thank you.
Good morning, Ugandans. Well, my name is Ezra. I'm here to introduce the son of the soil, Dr. Tony Divine. Dr. Tony Divine is the brain behind the transformation of education, not only in Uganda but in the globe. He works or worked behind the scenes to see Uganda birth the now Churasa program. Are we enjoying the Churasa program? The lower curriculum education reform. Are we enjoying it? He was behind that initiative. Dr. Tony leads innovative programs that make education more relevant. And through him, Uganda is beginning to see an education system that is going to create job creators, not job seekers. Is with us to see that all young people who graduate turn to be a building block towards the transformation agenda of our country. I request that we all join hands as we welcome Dr. Tony Divine to share his thoughts and train us to be future educators who can be able to raise a generation that's going to cheer this country with the transformation we desire. Dr. Tony, you're most welcome.
Appreciate it. Okay. So thank you very much, Milton, for organizing the workshop, Ezra, for your support. And Richard, thank you very much. We really appreciate Kyambogo College for having us here today. And Harriet, thank you very much for hosting us. And please give my regards to your principal, who is a good friend of mine, right? Yeah. I understand he's in a big event in Yoyo today and tomorrow, right? Okay. And thank you all for being here, right? I think we have some students here. Who are the students in the room? Okay, you're students of this school? Or other schools? Okay, all right. Oh, the peace clubs. Okay, yeah, you guys are very important because we need lots of peace, right? Piece by piece. Yes, we need lots of peace. And then we have several school principals here, I understand, right? So who are the school principals? Could you stand up? The school heads or the school principals or deputy school principals? Could you stand up? Okay. You're most welcome. Thank you very much. And then we have the Ministry of Education here, right? Over here, I believe. Yes, okay, all right. And then who else is here?
Teachers, patrons of these clubs.
Okay.
The teachers became
The teachers also came, right? Okay. So the teachers don't let you guys out alone. They have to supervise you, is that right? To make sure you're really building peace properly, is that right? Or do you know how to do it without the teachers? Okay, I'm just joking with you. Okay, so because of limitation of time, let's get rolling here, okay? I just came from Kenya last night. I was in Kenya all last week. We had actually a 3 full days of transforming education workshop, right, for educational leaders. We had combined about 250 leaders for over the 3 days, right? And you know, I shared a lot of content. We had a lot of good inputs from different educational leaders. But we don't have 3 days here, right? We only have how many minutes do I have, Milton?
3 hours.
3 hours. Maybe until noon, right? I should finish by noon. So whatever number Milton says, I have to always divide it by half. That's more likely the truth, right? I think I would finish by noon, right? Yeah. Milton would like you to stay for 3 hours, but I don't think your schedule allows that. Is that correct? Or do you want to stay for 3 hours? No, we should finish by noon, right? Okay. So without any more delay, let's get going. So this is called the blueprint for transforming education, which is a pathway to national transformation. So the goal is national transformation, right? We're not transforming education for its own sake. We're targeting the national, the transformation of the entire nation, right? So how many people here want to see Uganda being a great nation in the not too distant future, right? So especially you young people, right? You want to see Uganda become a great nation, right? You want to live in a great nation. And that means all of the sectors of the nation have to work optimally, right? So here we're going to focus in on just one sector, the education sector that all of you are participating in, whether you're a student, a teacher, you represent the Ministry of Education, whether you're an education stakeholder, a parent, we're all very involved in this sector. And this is given the fact that Uganda has perhaps the largest youth population of any country in the world. I understand it's about 70% are young people. That is the number one asset of Uganda, by the way, right? It's you, the young people. And we want to really, we want to work with your leaders to make sure you get the kind of education that prepares you effectively and holistically for this century, right? And for Africa. So this is what we're going to actually cover. What are the key ingredients that we need to understand, right? To transform the nation, to transform the education sector, and to transform each and every one of us here, okay? So we're going to examine the purpose, or we're going to try to visualize the purpose and future of education. So many people talk about the future of education, right? We hear that a lot. What's the future going to be like? And I think young people, you guys here, have a better understanding of what the future needs than the educators. Milton, what do you think? Richard, what do you think? You're the vice principal here, right? Do you think the young people have a better sense of what the future needs than the educators themselves?
Absolutely, because they are in another generation, and we, the educators, belong to another generation. So there is a mismatch. What they are thinking probably different. So they must know, must be having the vision of what the future should look like. Because the future, I think, is here with them.
Yes. I'm going to engage in a little dialogue with you here, Richard. Stand up. Okay. Richard is my good friend, so I can mess around with him here, no problem, okay? So Richard, now you said something there, right? That, you know, we need to know what they think, right?
Right.
So here's the $64 question. Have you asked them what they think?
I don't think.
There you go.
I don't think.
Now I'm going to verify this, right? Have your teachers asked you what you think and asked you what kind of education do you need? Have they asked you that question that you want? Has any teacher ever asked you that question?
Yes.
They have.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How about you? They asked you? Which school are you guys from? Huh? McCarran College. Well, that's actually a precedent-setting college then, in my view, right? But let me ask the school principals here. In your school, when you open up the brand new academic year, do you take a few days and interview each and every student for about an hour and ask them what kind of education are they looking for from you? Do you do that at all? Well, I would recommend you do that, because you might get very, very great, good answers, okay? So we're here not to keep doing the same old thing. We need to do things differently, okay? We need to do new actions, especially the educators. These students, let me ask you two kids, right? Well, you're more than just kids, right? You're
looks like very handsome young men right now. But would you like, right, if your teachers and your school principal at the beginning of the academic year brought you into their office and spent 1 hour with you and asked you what kind of education, they ask you, what kind of education do you want us to provide you? Would you like that or not like that?
Absolutely, would like that.
School principals, did you hear that? Not only did they say we would like that, they absolutely would like that, right? Absolutely! Let me just check this student here. Would you like your principal and teachers at the beginning of the new academic year to bring you into the office and then ask you what kind of education do you want? Well, would you think you'd like that or not? You wouldn't like it.
I would like it.
You would like it. And would you just like it or would you absolutely like it?
Absolutely like it.
Would you like it, absolutely like it, or triple absolutely like it?
Triple.
You hear that? You hear that from school principals? Triple absolutely like it, okay? So now the next thing is, can you please do that then? When are you going to do it? In 2029? In 2040? Are you going to start now? Write that down. I'm starting now. So, Richard, where are you? So you have to follow up. Okay? You make sure this is a new. If you don't learn anything else, just do that. You will get the greatest education ever. You can cancel your PhD, your doctorate, right? Because you will get a doctorate education just by asking the students. The greatest secrets are under our own nose. And we miss it all the time, right? These kids know. Do you know why I know that? I grew up in Ireland, right? Back in the 60s, right? And when I was like 15, and there was no internet back then, I knew the kind of education I wanted. I clearly, and this is like, I won't tell you how many decades ago, but it was quite a few, right? So a little kid growing up on a farm in rural Ireland with no access to, we only had one channel on the TV that was on from 6 to 11, so I didn't have a lot of stuff, right? But I knew the kind of education I wanted. I knew I wanted to be an engineer, right? And you know what? I went to a Christian Brothers school, and I knew I had to study physics to be an engineer. And my teacher was not a good physics teacher. He did not provide me with the information I needed to be a mechanical engineer. So I had to actually save money, right? Do work on our farm, make pocket money for my parents, and then I had to get on a bus and go 5 hours up to Dublin, the capital city, to the best bookstore in Ireland, bought a bag of physics books. I used all my savings, came back home, and I self-studied physics, and I went on to become an engineer. That's what I had to do, right? These guys know what they want, right? They clearly know what they want. Because more than I did, because they have something called smartphones and the internet. They know more than you guys, okay? So why don't you ask them, okay? They're your customer. They're the reason you exist, okay? All right? I think the workshop is over now, Milton, okay? You know? If they just do that, that's going to be a major step forward in transforming education. Talk to your students and recalibrate. Do what they say, right? You're no longer a teacher, by the way. You're a guide. Teachers have a new role. You're actually a facilitator, a coach, and a guide. This idea of the teacher standing up in the front of the room, you know, it's kind of like what I'm doing right now. But I think I've moved into the guide mode, right? Not the transmitter mode. So, you know, this idea of the teacher being a transmitter of knowledge is totally ridiculous. It's outdated. That was fine 300 years ago, but it's no longer relevant today. Not when everyone has smartphones and AI is coming, and I'll talk about AI in a few minutes, okay? So we have to change our role. Our role has to become a facilitator, a master coach, a guide, and impact the entire life trajectory of each and every student in our classrooms and schools. So I want all of the educators here today, when you go back from this morning session, right, have some serious staff meetings. And I want you to reimagine your schools, right, and your classrooms, okay, guys? My question is, are you going to do it or not? Okay, so we're getting pledges here. So you videotape all this. They're making commitments, right? So the worst, you can't believe how many workshops I've done in my life like this, right? And sessions, and then nothing happens afterwards. Like, if we're not going to take new action, we're wasting our time being here, right? What do you guys think? Yeah, we've got to take new action. And we have to have give and take. We've got to work together, right, to do it. I'm not kind of telling you what to do. I'm just telling you to take new action, okay? You decide the action, but it has to be new. It can't be iterative, and it has to be transformative, too. And I'm going to make the case for what I just said in the next hour, okay? So take lots of notes, all right? Because I'm going to check your notebooks at the end. And I want to see it filled with notes and under... You guys have notebooks? Every person has to have a notebook. And do you have a notebook? Okay, Richard, where are you? Provide notebooks for everyone in the room, okay? Anyone that doesn't have a notebook, raise your hand. Yeah, raise your hand. Richard is getting notebooks. This is a school, right? Harriet, you have notebooks, right? Can you provide them to everyone? This is the most important education of this entire academic year in the next 1 hour, okay? So please get notebooks into everybody's hand, and we want you to fill it up. I'm going to check the notebooks at the end, right? Through pedagogy, right? If you just sit like a deer looking into headlights with a blank stare, you're going to get nothing out of it. Okay, you've got to apply other functions, right? Okay, so just based on what I said today so far, I'd like to have one or two of the principals comment on that. Who'd like to comment on that? Just everything I said already this morning. Who'd like to make a short 2-minute commentary? You can say, I don't believe anything you said, right? I disagree with, I don't care what your opinion is, but I would just love some feedback, right? Oh, I think this is a great idea, right? Or, hey, I never thought of that before. Maybe I should try it, right? So, who'd like to comment? Okay, we have a volunteer, and it's a woman. The ladies are great. Okay, all right, what's your name?
I'm Sarah Msime from Kawempe Muslim SS.
Yeah.
My comment from what you have taken us through is that unless we engage learners to discover the kind of education they want, we shall not help them as teachers. Thank you.
We should help them, right? Is that what you said? We should help them. Yes. You have to help. I really like that. You have to get involved with your students. And the goal, I'm going to get you in a sec. The goal is no longer to pass the final exam, folks. It is to prepare them for their life arc. All right, a comment right here.
Yes, my name is Andrew. According to me, I think that idea is really right because students know what they need, and in case you engage with them, they will tell you how they would love to be taught or what they need, and it will give you a roadmap on how you should do the teaching best, and that will be really good because you know what the students need and it will give you what to do. Thank you.
Oh, good job. Yes. Yeah, another commentary right here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Bruce Matemo from Makere School.
Face everybody.
In my view, I've considered that as a student, you must determine the kind of education you want and the future you want to live, so as to be guided by the teacher, but not greatly depending only on the teacher, but as well as determining the kind of education and future you want before getting the guidance from the teacher. Thank you.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. So I have a little message to the students, right? If your teachers are not going to provide the education that you want, then provide it to yourself. Write that down. If your teachers and your school is not providing the education and preparing you for the future you want, then provide it yourself. Use AI. Use... You guys listening, educators? I'm challenging the students. Don't be like, passive. You take an act, you're the CEO of your own education. You young person, what's your name? Kenya Goodman? Okay, what? Goodman is one of your names? No, Robert. Nobot. Okay, Nobot, come up here. You know, in a company, they have a chief executive officer, a CEO who runs the company, right? What I'm suggesting to you right now, right in the 21st century, you must be the chief executive officer of your own education. You have to take maximum responsibility for it, right? If your teachers are not providing you the education you want, you find other tools like artificial intelligence, the internet, whatever it is, so that you get the education you want. What do you think about this idea?
I think this idea is right because since the school can't provide me the education I want, then I have to hustle and get it myself.
I like this hassle. Expand on that. Expand on that. Tell me how you're going to hassle. Ugandans are real hasslers, right? Because there's not a lot of resources. You have to scramble. You have to get something here. You know, tell me how you're going to hassle.
When we were beginning this program, you told us that your physics teacher couldn't provide you with the physics concepts you wanted. Then you saved part of your savings and you had to travel 5 hours to buy the textbooks you wanted. So I would also save part of my savings and also task my parents to buy me the textbooks with the knowledge I really need. And also disturb the teachers. To give me the time and know the education I want.
Teachers, do you want to be disturbed by the students? Are you okay with being disturbed? They're okay to be disturbed, so go ahead and disturb them, right? Because you are the CEO of your own education, not the school, not the principal, not your teacher even. You are the CEO. If you're not getting the education for them, you make sure you get it, okay? Because your time is limited on this planet. You can't waste time, okay? What do you think of that?
I think it's right because time does not wait for no man. So since the teacher is wasting my time, not providing me the education I want, I have to run after the time and get the education I want. I think that's right.
Yeah. 5. I hope this is being videotaped, right?
We have it.
Yeah. This should go out on social media, right? Yeah. You're going to be famous, you know that? All over Uganda. And you're the one that's going to wake up every single school principal, teacher in Uganda, and we're going to change the game here once and for all. We're going to transform you and then transform education. If the education sector can't catch up with you, surpass them. What do you think of that?
I agree with it because if they can't give me what I want, I have to move a milestone ahead of them.
Exactly.
And if possible, I can even advise them on what to do.
Why not? You know more than those guys, right? You know, when I say no, it's not intellectual. It's intuitive. It's spiritual. It's emotional, right? You understand? So knowing is not just in the realm of the mind. It draws on the 4 human dimensions: the spiritual, moral, emotional, and physical, right? Okay? And then your final remarks as the CEO of your own education. Your closing remarks and your message to all the educators and all the students as well.
My final remarks as the CEO of my education is that teachers should reserve some time to know what we students want. And we students must also know what we want. And if teachers can't provide it to us, we have to hustle squared mathematically and get what we want. So teachers should reserve time for students, and students should know what they want. That's my final remarks. Thank you.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you mentioned that the students should work on knowing what they want. Now, I want you now to you're giving a message to the educators now. Now, we're actually giving this message absolutely respectfully, right? You know what I mean? We love our teachers, right? In fact, you know, during COVID, students couldn't wait to go back to their school, right? They loved their school, they loved their teacher, correct? You couldn't wait to come back after COVID, right?
Of course, I couldn't wait.
Yeah, I know. I heard this all over the world, right? But now I want you to give a message to, I want you to give a very strong, clear message and specific points to the students on what you said, right? You have to know what you want. Now, you guide the students on how to achieve that point, okay? Because you know it all, don't you? Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Number one, you the student, you must know what you want. That's number one. Hope you're noting. I'm going to check your notebooks.
Yeah, write that down.
Number two. Hope you're done with that. Yeah. Number two. If teachers can't provide you with that education you want, look for it yourself. Number three, if you're seeing teachers are not providing you with what you want and what other students would want, go ahead and advise them. It's not a crime. Advise them on what to do. Number four, you're done with that? Number four, always hustle. Mathematically, I would say squared or cubed. Hustle, squared or cubed. Or you save, ask your parents to buy you the textbooks with the content you really want. If you want to do biology, if you want to do physics, get those books that really have the content that is going to satisfy you. Not sometimes when we're in class, teacher may just come and just gives you a summary. But go ahead and Kyambogo College, they say you can alto, dig deeper. Am I right? Yes. So dig deeper into those textbooks and get the content you really want. Finally, I would say never fear to make mistakes. Because mistakes are the ones that make us perfect. Because when you are calculating, let me say a number in math, and you make a mistake and you just leave it there, you just remain at that level. But when you keep, the more mistakes you make, the more perfect you become. No one is perfect. The reason is they perfect more than, they do practice more than you. So take some time, perfect more, and you become perfect. I would like to conclude by saying, be known by works and only good works. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's great. Thank you very much. Now, no one expected this, right? You expected some academic presentation this morning, right? So we organized it like this in advance. We spent months finding this young man. No, I'm joking. This is all spontaneous. But hey, great job, okay? So you did such a good job. Why don't you just continue and give the presentation? Because I really like listening to you. You think you could do it?
You told us that when you are given 3 hours, you divide it by a half. So let me also divide the remaining by a half and you take the half.
You are some negotiator, I'll tell you that, right? I would not like to be negotiating against you, okay? Good, that's good, man. Yeah, negotiate your way, right? Good job. Okay, since you said that, I guess I have to continue that, huh? Okay. I'm being directed by the student here now, right? Milton, you can't, no, Harriet, now you run this school, right, with the principal. Now you make a comment on what you just heard. And you make a commentary, give advice to all the people here today, right? This is spontaneous. So Harry, come out here in front and you talk to everybody, right? And then we'll continue. And then Milton, you make a comment after that, okay?
Thank you. I think, first of all, let's appreciate the student for what he has given to us. We've all learned. We've all learned, and I think he's really very genius. He has been very attentive and he has listened to whatever has taken place and is able to give us into details. So from what we've heard, we said that students should know what they want and they must go in for that. They must dig into the deep, like our motto says. Dig into the deep until you find what you want. If you see that the people to give you what you need, like the teachers, the management is not in and is not supporting you, find other alternatives until you find what you need. So as administrators and teachers of the school, it's our responsibility to ensure that we provide the learners with what they need to make sure that they are able to achieve what they have in their mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Harriet. That's, really appreciate you saying that, right? And then, please don't misunderstand, okay, what's going on here. The students actually need you badly. They need you guys, right? They need their teachers, they need their principal, not in the old way. We have to refresh the way we go about things, right? You have something that they're missing, right? You have wisdom, years of experience. You know about values. Maybe you might not know about AI, right? But you have something way more important than that. And they're looking for your guidance, right? Without a doubt. I want to verify that. Okay, young man, come up here. Okay, so, would you like your teachers to guide you, to, coach you, to inherit their wonderful wisdom that they've gained over many years? They know, they have wisdom that you're missing, right? Life experiences. Would you like to tap into that amazing resource from your teachers and school principals?
Absolutely. I would like...
The word absolutely. Did you hear that? They want your guidance, okay? They want your wisdom, your life experience. Write that down. He said, absolutely they want to be guided by you, right? Okay, now go ahead with the absolutely.
Absolutely, I would like to get the guidance and the experience, because these are our elders and they've got more experience than we do. An example I can give, for a bird to fly, it learns from its, let me say, is it the elders? So, if we students are to fly, we must learn from our elders who are the teachers, because they've got the experience, they've known, they've got the knowledge and the wisdom. So, we learn from them. And I agree with it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I would add to that, right? You have another amazing gift in your home. You know what that is?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
What is it? What's the amazing gift that you have in your home? Something super special.
Our parents.
Exactly! Your parents, right? Your parents might not know how to use a smartphone like you, but they have wisdom. They have life experiences. They've faced unbelievable struggles and they surmounted them. They've raised you up. They sacrificed everything so that you could get an education. So don't you think they have incredible wisdom, insights that would benefit you for the whole rest of your life? What do you think?
I think they have triple incredible experience.
Triple incredible experience. 100%. Yes, they do. Go ahead.
Because they've gone through a lot and they've got that experience.
Yeah.
And they've learned a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
So we can learn from them how we can minimize these mistakes.
Yes.
They can teach us, they can guide us on how to minimize such mistakes they've already made before.
Yes, exactly. So therefore, right, now everyone here in the room, right, every student here has had two people that they need so badly. Their parents and their teachers to guide them, okay? Not to tell them stuff, to guide them in this life, right? And prepare them for the future, where you're conveying your values, your wisdom. And that's why in the blueprint, right, one of the key points that it makes is that the primary partnership should be between schools and families, right? Not just parents, with families. It includes the grandparents, the uncles and aunts, and so on and so forth, right? And in fact, the profile of a modern school should be there should be almost as many parents bumping into the school every day of the week as there are students. And in fact, you see this red thing here? Every school should have a red carpet like this from the gate all the way up to the the principal's office, and a big sign outside: parents and families welcome every day of the week. No appointments needed. You can come in, you can sit and monitor the classes, and they can contribute a small fee to have some folding chairs. They just roll them out. Now, would you like that? Would you like that kind of school?
I would like it.
You would like it. You just would like it, or you would really like it?
I would triple really like
Or
it.
triple really like it. Triple really like it. Okay. Expand. Explain why.
I would like it because
Triple like it now, right?
triple really
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
because that red carpet from the gate
Yeah.
to the administrator's office where parents will be moving, right?
Yes. Exactly. So the parents.
For the parents.
Yes.
This would, I think, personally, this would motivate parents to continue working hard to keep their students in school. Because they're now seeing the gifts, the outcomes of being in school. And I think it would motivate parents to hustle, to work hard, and always to keep their children, their kids in school.
Teachers, school heads, are you listening to this? Would you like, sometimes the school principals, the teachers are always complaining about the parents, right? That they're not teaching the values, we have to pick up the burden, right? They're not motivating the students and so on. But a student here said the key to motivating the parents is making sure they're in the school a lot, not just once a year, right? But regularly throughout the week, you know what I mean? What do you have to lose? But do you have anything to lose to try this as an experiment and see how we would go for a few months? Do you have anything to lose? Do you think you've got a lot to gain though? What do you think about the students? Do you think they would love it to see parents in the school? They would love it, right? 100%. Okay? And final comment?
My final comment.
Yes. On this topic, on the parents being in the school, that the primary partnership should be between schools and families?
Of course, if there is no relationship between the school and the family, the student will find a difficulty in school.
There you go.
So it's very crucial for the school in all ways to bridge a gap between the family and the school. This can be done in such ways like organizing parents' days, where parents are invited. You sit with the teacher one-to-one, and the teacher talks to your parents about you, how you can change and how you can benefit from this education you are getting from school. So, schools should always organize. In our school, we call it Parents' Day, where parents come, sit with the teacher one-to-one, then converse how can you improve and how can you benefit more. So, schools should always, I think, do that.
Okay, now I have a, based on what this young student is telling us, right? My interpretation is that Parents' Day is once a year, is that correct? Yeah. Once in a while, okay. Would you guys like a challenge? Every day is Parents' Day. Every day is Parents' Day, not once in a while. Write that down. Every day is Parents' Day. Not maybe all the parents, but you have a cohort and a cluster of parents in every day of the week. That is the profile of a transformative school, okay? Plus, there's the added benefit that many of the parents never got an education, right? So they can learn something as well. Can you imagine the culture that that's going to create? The stress that's going to be relieved from you teachers? Do you have anything to lose to try this as an experiment? Do you have anything to lose? You want to say something? Let's give our student a big round of applause, right? I learned a lot. I learned a lot from him this morning, right? I'm learning. I haven't even started the presentation yet, but I'm learning too much, right?
Thank you very much,
No,
Doctor.
come up here. Otherwise, people are going to get sore necks, right? And some of these guys are a little older, and it's like, whoa. It's like, oh my God, it's like, whoa. You can't be walking like this afterwards. So we're trying to help their health here a little bit. So come over here, in the middle. Yeah, you're the commander now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm called Madam Winfred. I'm a teacher here in Kyambogo College. And this discussion is mine. I'm blessed that I came today. Yesterday, we had a meeting where I was teaching, we were discussing. And unfortunately, I will explain why I'm saying unfortunately. We had students who have left university. So we had a lot of topics we were discussing. And my co-teacher is an engineer, but he's a very good teacher. Then I asked him, are you a teacher? He said, no, I'm an engineer, but everybody tells me I'm a teacher. And I think I'm a teacher. I said, then why an engineer? I've been a teacher for some good years. I've taught students from senior 1 up to senior 6. I've seen them year after year. You see them how they come, you see them how they leave senior 4 to senior 6, and I know how much we have influenced them. Even when they come and say, I want this, and for you say, do this. Do we have teachers here? You know what we always do. Now, when the government came in and even said sciences against arts, it even became worse. Now, when I saw my co-teachers who have left university, in fact, one studied, biochemistry, got a first degree, got a master's. He has just qualified for a PhD, and he's a teacher. My heart was broken down. What are we doing in schools? Look at the wasted time. Look at the wasted resources. Look at the wasted identity. So when you talk about this, and I was in that meeting yesterday, I just know that yesterday we were doing the right thing. And I'm sure we are doing the right thing. And I'm praying that this goes back, not after university. You can imagine I was talking to students who just called me as a mama, because when they were here, we used to go deep. I could know their family, I could know their parents, but like I didn't have much to say. Why this subject? Why not this one? Or them to tell me. It was us telling them, this is what you want. You are here telling them, this is what you need. Their parents are telling them, this is what you need. The teachers are saying, this is... So the student ends up studying what he doesn't want. But how many years are wasted? How much resources? Look at the identity of somebody called, in fact, I had one an engineer, then another one is a doctor. Now, a doctor who is now enjoying teaching. An engineer. In fact, when we left, we said, now let's connect the teaching with the machines, because he's an engineer. Now, you can imagine what a mess we are living in. I just pray that what we are talking about here will go back deep and we involve these students, we involve their parents, we will have a better Uganda.
Exactly.
God bless you.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you very much, Harriet. We're still on the first slide, folks. But the content of this presentation is being conveyed so rapidly already, right? Let me ask you a question. Are you starting to visualize the purpose and the future of education just based on what happened in the last 40 minutes?
Thank you so much. Automatically we have started visualizing the future, the true purpose and the future of education. My observation and experience is that we have been doing it maybe without knowing what exactly we're doing. Occasionally there are instances where we have some learners who may become problematic, frantic, restless in learning. Now when you involve the parents, you find the child getting to settle down. It takes me back to what you said. Every day should be parents' day in school. Because what I'm discovering is that the more we involve the parents, I think the more we get the students on board. They get on to focus and really concentrate. Because at times, there is a pulling of ropes between the parents and the teachers. The parent tells the learner, I want you to do this. And the teachers guide the learner in a different direction. So I think when we get together and sit on round table, the student, the teacher, and the learner, I think we can be able to provide the kind of education the learners deserve. It also involves, I think, discovering their potentials, their abilities, and then we guide them along those lines. Thank you so much.
No, exactly. And this is where I couldn't agree with you more, right? And thank you so much for that comment. Schools are typically they're out on Saturday and Sunday, right? There's no classes on Saturday and Sunday, is that right?
Yes.
How about Saturday? Basically empty, right? Right. So you have an empty facility on Saturday, right? That's a resource, folks. For what? For parents. Do a workshop for parents on Saturdays. Fill up the room like this with parents and share this content, right, with some of the students. Now you're actually being proactive, and the focus is to transform parents, to work with you as close allies, right? So use your facilities you have an asset right under your nose. Utilize it on Saturdays, okay? So that you can build rapport and provide, this content to the parents, right? You guys did that here in Uganda. Can you comment on that, Milton? Yeah. You did this already, right? So,
Yeah.
so share about what you guys did and how many parents you brought in, and it was called the Parents Transformation Workshop, right?
Actually, the last 15 years, the CCI demonstration schools, how many are there? Where we also have the peace clubs. How many? Maybe by raising the hands. Today we have around 5. But in 2014, for example, we had more than 300 parents we were transforming every month. And at one point we invited Dr. Tony to come and train them. But those schools have had 2 outcomes, majorly 2, where parents have discovered themselves as moral educators. You understand that? Now, students are understood better by their parents, right? They understand their behaviors at home. They actually understand how they should be educated. They are those who want framework X, Y, Z. The parents know their children and their shortcomings, even strengths. So we were able to understand, the parents' engagement and the involvement in the education process of their own children at school actually enhances, bridges better outcomes, learning outcomes on their students. The same to the schools, the teachers and the teachers. We are able also to share the experience they are finding in educating their children. Then the parent also notes down, say, okay, when they are at school, this is how they are. So the 2 leaders were able to engage, and they create consensus, they build consensus on lessons learned from the parents' experience and the teacher's experience. Who is the beneficiary? The beneficiary is the student, who should be able to be nurtured holistically. Because culture, we have different cultures, isn't it? The Musoga, the Michiga, the teachers were able to appreciate that. The teachers were also able to appreciate that the parents have those dynamics of culture. The religious dynamics, because the student don't come from one religion. So, Dr. Tony, I want to conclude to you that the outcomes that we shaped in those schools have enhanced better performance in those schools, because the teachers and the parents are together. So Dr. Tony is encouraging us to open our gates now, to allow in another faculty of parents to come to our schools, to add and enhance learning outcomes. I think you are appreciating that. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, maybe at the end. Yeah. Can a couple of young students come up here and just leave the room in a quick energizer? You have a comment to make? You want to say something?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, you guys, do you know what an energizer is? We need to get everybody up, moving, dancing.
Good
Can you guys
morning.
organize that? So get together a few of you over here on the side and make it happen, and I'll bring you up in about 2 minutes, okay? Collect more students together, like about 5 or 6 of you.
Children believe and have faith in teachers than in as the parents. The other thing that remains the nightmare, even the parents, while at school, they think we know their sons and daughters more than they should. In our setting of the no secondary curriculum, workshops have been held here and there, but the people who organized for the workshop did not think that the other stakeholders, who are the parents, should take charge. There lies the biggest challenge. I did it in my school last year, but it is kind of very tricky when you are trying to put the learner in the form of a student or a boy or girl who wants to achieve. It is very hectic on our side. We begin anticipating, and the other big thing we look at while at school is coverage at the expense of what we are, the learner who is responsible for his talent versus capability. So it is still very hard that we need these kinds of workshops to keep us on the same trend with our stakeholders who are the parents. You find out these days the real situation is the boy or girl even knows more of what he or she wants to be than the parent than the teacher. So these workshops are supposed to be starting with the nursery, then to the primary. To this level of the secondary, things will be so clear. So if it is now on the secondary level, then it becomes a nightmare. And at one moment, that's when we even begin forcing, unknowingly, the strengths of the learners, yet they are the weaknesses. And that is the center of indiscipline, and then we don't achieve. My big humble request is, how best should we integrate the parent at this earliest level when the boy or girl is getting started into the nursery setting.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You're just reiterating what we're saying. Ezra, I'll bring you up a little later, right, to talk about these workshops, okay? You guys ready? You guys ready to go? Okay. So this band here is a new band that's just getting created here. It's going to be, you'll hear them on the radio, they'll be on social media. So I'm going to christen them. I'm going to call them the Transformers, right? So the Transformers, come on up here and transform everybody. Right. Here's another microphone. Everyone has to be moving, up and moving, jumping over chairs, jumping from chair to chair. These guys especially, okay?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The energizer we have to cater for other people's age groups, at least I think to have some little music, if possible. Is it?
Music. Where's the music? Open up a smartphone and play some music.
Yeah, it's coming. It's going to fix it. Okay.
So it's going to be like this. You're going to read the word coconut using our own bodies, right? Okay. As soon as you get the music, I'll let you know how you're going to go about it. Daddy by Tim Godfrey.
maybe in the meanwhile, we can stand up and do some simple stretches.
Thank you. So we're going to do work the right coconut using our bodies, right? Okay. So when we say C, we're going to do the for C, we're going to do our back. Then O. Again, C. Then U. We are going for A.
Make sure you fasten your seatbelts, so symbolically fasten your seatbelts, because we're going to move at speed for the next 30 minutes, okay? But do it symbolically. Fasten your seatbelts. Whatever you do, right? Very interesting seatbelts in Uganda. You go all over the place, right? Okay. So we're at the dawn. So I'm going to go super fast right now, okay? Are you mentally clear? Does anyone have mental fog right now? You're half asleep in your mind? If you are, slap your head 3 times and get it out, because we're going to move super fast, okay? All right. So we're at the dawn of a brand new era, okay? So the last time an era like this came about was at the turn of the 19th century, when we had the second industrialized revolution. And here we saw the convergence of 5 general purpose technologies. One was the automobile, the internal combustion engine, which changed transportation, goods and services. The next one was mass production, right? The Ford Motor Company introduced in the Model T, right, the production line. And every automobile company, every other kind of manufacturing company has used the same production line ever since, even up until today. The next platform was telecommunications, particularly the telephone. So this allowed people to communicate across vast distances. And then finally the railroads, right? And the catalyst technology driving all of this was electricity. electricity, right? So these five converge together, and as a result, GDP, the world's GDP, 6x'd, right? It went from 0.5% per year to 3%, and it has remained stable on average ever since. We've never been able to surpass it, okay? So that's, that's what happened back then. Back in our lifetime, right, we have directly experienced, not the youngest students here, but I think more the educators, 5 recent technological super cycles. We call them super cycles. So the first one was in the early 1980s with the personal computer, right? Before that, the only computers were these IBM mainframes, right, that were basically the size of this room. But now, you could have a computer, a desktop or a laptop. Everyone could have one, right? It took about 15 years for that to become mainstream. And that moved us into the 1990s with the second technological supercycle, which was the internet revolution. It basically networked all these computers together so the computers could talk to each other, right? Digitally and electronically. The next big supercycle was these desktop computers became mobile computers in the form of smartphones. So now we all have these days, or at least most people have them anyway. And then in the 2010s, right, rather than all the information being stored on your smartphone, it's stored on the cloud. Not a physical cloud, right, but data centers, right, where you can access information anytime, anywhere, anyhow, with any device, right? And now, starting in 2022, is the supercycle of supercycles, the artificial intelligence supercycle, right? Which is going to become which is now the new catalyst. It's similar to electricity back in the early 1900s and the impact it's going to have, okay? So right now, right now this minute, right, in 2025, we're seeing the convergence of 5 technological platforms. They're called platforms, right? It's a new word, right? Platforms. So public blockchain is one. This is moving us into the era of cyber currencies, Bitcoin, stablecoin, those kind of things, right? The next one is solar power generation and battery storage. The sun is the greatest energy source we have. It is almost unlimited, right? And we can power the earth millions of times over if we can harness the power of the sun through solar farms, right? And then store it in these battery packs. Like Tesla has these mega packs that can store while the sun is shining, and then so it's stored in batteries, right? So that energy can be deployed, the electricity can be deployed at nighttime when the sun isn't shining, right? So you're doubling output. The next one is robotics. Robotics, okay? And that includes autonomous vehicles and autonomous transportation of every single kind, right? That's already a real world. That's already a reality, right? Tesla has something called full self-driving. Cars that drive themselves, right? And robotics. So humanoid robots are being designed by 100 different companies around the world, and by actually around 2028, 2030, you'll be able to buy your own humanoid robot, right? Just imagine this for a second. While you're here in this workshop, your personal humanoid robot would be cleaning your house, cleaning up after your breakfast, vacuuming your floors, right? Mowing the garden, doing some house repairs, and then when you come greeting your kids when you come home from school, making sure they have a nice little snack prepared for them, and then when you come home, dinner is already prepared, and then after dinner you can relax and they'll do the dishes, right? They'll have your bed made and everything. How many people would like a humanoid robot? Any people would like this kind of reality? Only one. Okay, so the rest of you want to do all these chores by yourself, right? Okay. Well, in that case, you just continue, you can continue and go to sleep, right? Because you're not getting a perspective of the future, right? This is called the purpose and future of education. Except this future is not 100 years from now, it is already happening now, okay? So we need to recalibrate and wake up, okay? And then genetic mapping, which is going to, we're going to discover all kinds of new medicines, right? Biology is going to get transformed and so on. The catalyst driving all of this is AI, artificial intelligence, right? And I will talk more about that in a few minutes. So, when ChatGPT came on board for the first time in 2022, almost 1 million people downloaded it in the first week, right? We've never seen the speed of adoption of a new technology ever in human history than AI, and it's just going gangbusters, right? Okay, and it's coming to education, by the way. It's coming our way, and we better be ready for it, okay? So, we're here in this school today, right, with the purpose to prepare our students for the future, for future jobs and so on and so forth. So now I'm going to present a synopsis of about half a dozen major reports that came out this year in 2025. The World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Report 2025, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development Employment Outlook 2025, PricewaterhouseCoopers, their consultancy company, Global AI Jobs Barometer 2025, the International Monetary Fund Working Paper 2025, the World Bank Jobs Report 2025, the McKinsey is a consulting company, AI in the Workplace 2025, and Deloitte, which is another consultancy company, Gen Z and Millennium Survey 2025. It will take you like a week to read all of these reports, but I'm going to give you the synopsis in the next 5 minutes. Or not. Do you want the summary? Okay. I'm going to save you reading all the reports, okay? So it's about 300 or 400 pages if you read them all. I'm going to give you the summary, okay? Among all of them, right? So here it is. Take notice here because this is not for entertainment or for intellectual curiosity. This has a direct bearing on what's coming our way, and it's coming our way as educators really fast, and has massive implications on how we go about education. And for the students here, it should be like firing neurons off in your brain on the kind of education that you want, okay, that you need, okay? So here we go. The World Economic Forum 2025 is saying that between 22 and 29% of the labor market will churn. It will turn over by 2030. That's 1/3. That is not 2090. That is in the next 5 years. It's not going to happen in 2030. It's starting happening already, okay? We will reach that percentage by 2030. By the end of this year, it will be 5 or 6%. Next year, it will be 10%, like that, right? With 92 million jobs displaced and 170 million jobs created. So the education sector is just preparing students for the 92 million jobs that already exist. And you're not preparing them for the 170 million jobs that will replace them, correct? Yes. Yeah, we're stuck in the past. We are absolutely stuck in the past. So, I want every single school in Uganda to create a transforming education task force and digest this information we're sharing today, and then make a plan, like a rapid fire plan, to do things differently, because if you don't, you're not serving your students properly, actually, right? Or their parents. OECD 2025 maintains an estimate of 1.1 billion jobs. That is 1/8 of the world's population, by the way, right? Will be radically transformed by technology by 2030. Let me put this another way, right? There are now 1.2 billion students in the world, the largest youth population ever. The education sector is educating them in the past. But in the next 5 years, 1.1 million jobs will be transformed by technology and AI. And my question is, what are you doing to prepare your students for this reality? Right? You should be writing lots of notes here, folks. Like, this has huge implications. Next, right? The International Monetary Fund and PricewaterhouseCoopers, this is the highlight from these two reports. AI will be affecting 40% of global jobs, with skills evolving 66% faster in exposed roles and 56 wage premium for AI proficiency, widening inequalities. Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook is giving $1 million signing bonuses to young kids who have some kind of AI experience. Can you believe that? Who'd like a $1 million signing bonus to be an AI engineer? Like tonight. That is a reality, okay? That's already happening. He's poaching from OpenAI and other companies, okay? So, however, this data here is being implemented for real, right, in this world. The World Bank Youth Focus notes that 1.2 billion young workers entering markets by 2035 are facing a 780 million job creation gap. Again, that's almost the entire student population, right? So by the time they come into the workforce, 2/3 of them are not prepared. So the education sector is not doing a good service to prepare our students for this reality, right? Preparing them for what they want, okay? So, I mean, what do you guys think about this stuff? You know, I've been presenting this kind of stuff for years, right? And nothing happens afterwards, right? So, Harriet, what are you going to do differently as you're hearing this stuff? So you want to create a transforming education task force with Richard and your principal at the school and change the game here at Kyambogo College?
Yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah, we have to adopt it and ensure that we enforce on that.
We have to change the trajectory. Yes, go ahead.
I have seen a challenge.
It's a huge challenge, right?
Yes.
It really is a challenge.
And I think you said 3 times that you've been doing this same workshop and you're not seeing change. It's because the people you are training, they are past their time to be in education. We have education in Uganda that's managed by people aged between 40 and above. They want to train a generation that is digital, 100%. And you are meeting a teacher who can't even switch on a computer, who don't know how to use AI, and is preparing a child to come in 21st century to deal with technology. It's the main reason why you have trained. It means that you are not touching the core. These are the cores. The teachers should be in this workshop, should be those teachers aged between 23 years to 30. Because those are people, by the time technology came in 2010 in Uganda, they were in around primary level. So they have grown up with technology. They can transform what's needed in the coming generation. It's the main reason as to why you can make workshops, but what is the target of the workshop? When you read through all that, what are they targeting? I'm saying there 2050. If I can pose a question amongst us here, who's optimistic that I'm going to be around?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, can you just, in 1 minute, right, because we have little time left. Yeah, come up here. Mike, give him Mike. Just real quick though.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm Senoga Douglas. I have two things. You've mentioned something to do with the transformation in technology. I want our learners here to close their ears. Teachers, how ready are we? How ready are we? Because we grew up in a different generation, and now we are addressing a new generation. So we need to get onto the top of our game. Even this is why you find that today we have so many learners under indiscipline. Indiscipline cases are so many because you land on somebody writing a letter to a friend and you cannot even read the language and interpret. But they can read and interpret. We are still in the 90s. We are in the 2025. We have 25 years left to 2050. We need to understand their language. And when you understand their language, teaching and learning becomes easy. Then number two, the success, dear doctor, we in Africa have what we call the principle of an African pot. The success of a principle of an African pot lies on three stones. We have, now in this case, we have the learner. This one is the learner, the core. Then the other one is me, the teacher. Then the third one is the parent. But personally, I've struck the parent with the community. While you were sharing, talking of having an open school, me, I'm in charge of career guidance where I teach. I normally invite people outside the school to come and share experiences with these learners. One of my colleagues, a teacher, said somebody goes and does a course and this person ends up running back to education. For us to invite people outside to come and share life experiences with both the parents and the learners. We have a challenge. Our parents force these learners, particular courses or fields, and yet they also have their aspirations. So you find their conflicting loyalties. And you, a teacher, me, I always look at the learner. I become the bad person in front of the what? The parent. I think, as they said, we need to open up this sessions with parents to tell them to understand, help them to understand their children. Then we shall have a successful generation that we shall hand over our country to. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So there's a new frontier, and these technological platforms and AI are going to usher in a new frontier, right? And we're going to call it an age of abundance. It's called an age of abundance, right? Where the basic needs of everyone can be met. The cost of goods and services are going to tank, right? Human labor is going to be freed up. We talked about humanoid robots, right? We're actually on the verge of space exploration. We're going to actually have in our lifetime a space economy, okay? You can't even imagine what this is going to be like. I hope you young people are listening, okay? And life on Earth will become more sustainable if we do it right, if we take care of this, and have good stewardship over it. I want to zero in on AI a little bit more, right? And intelligence. So there are 4 kinds of intelligence, right? And I'm going to actually introduce the 5th one a little later, okay? So there's biological intelligence, BI. That's what's inside your brain, inside this thing up here, your head. Biological intelligence, thinking, reasoning, and so on, right? The other 3 types of intelligences are external to ourselves. They're not internal, right? So artificial intelligence, right, like ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, these kinds of models, right? They've synthesized all of the world's knowledge, and you put a query in, and they can answer. They can actually answer questions, right? You don't have to search anymore. They will answer questions. So it's actually, it's a great extension of biological intelligence, right? And that's with us right now. That's already here, right? The next one is artificial general intelligence, or AGI, right? So AGI, artificial general intelligence, what that means is that the AI is smarter than any human being, any individual human being. So we can take anybody, the smartest person in this room, the AGI is going to be smarter than you, okay? Okay? It'll be smarter than any PhD, right? Okay? So that's AGI, and that's going to be arriving at the end of 2025, at the latest 2026. That's this year. So an AI that's smarter than any individual human being, okay? Then the next level is crazy. It's called artificial superintelligence, or ASI. Artificial superintelligence means that the AI is smarter than all of humanity combined. This means that ASI is going to discover new physics, new maths, right? In fact, an artificial superintelligence can actually run the entire education department, the entire education system of Uganda. And then you guys can go out fishing and relaxing, okay? Right? And have more babies or something, okay? You think this is just like entertainment? This is reality. That's going to be coming by 2030, right? That's in 5 years' time. So when I came here to Uganda, right, over the past, I was in Kenya last week, but just before I came to Kenya, I had to get my visa, right, for Uganda. And there were all kinds of complications. I had to apply for my visa 7 times. And it arrived on Friday, and I was flying out on Saturday. If I didn't get it, I couldn't be here today. It was like right to the wire. Can you believe that? 7 times, right? I've been to Uganda many times. This hiccup and a series of hiccups never happened before. So why am I mentioning this? Because AI, artificial general intelligence, and artificial superintelligence does not need a visa to come into Uganda, okay? It's going to come in without a visa, okay? It's going to take over. So we have to be ready to manage it, okay? We need transformative people to manage these transformative technologies. And that's what our kind of workshops are all about. So, we have to transform ourselves. And in fact, every single day of the week, each and every one of us have the opportunity, and I mentioned this word, the opportunity to lead in 3 worlds simultaneously, right? The first world is ourselves. You're the CEO of yourself. You have to manage yourself. You have to lead in yourself. You have to grow spiritually, mentally, emotionally, right? Physically, you have to eat good food and so on and so forth. Nutritious food, right? You have to take responsibility. You have to take ownership. That takes leadership. It's personal leadership, right? It's self-control. It's self-management. It's striving for excellence, and all of the other ways we can describe it, okay? The second world that we have an opportunity to lead in is in our families, right? In our families. And then you young people here might think, oh, you know, I'm not married yet, so I'm not a parent, so I can't lead my family. That has nothing to do with it. Because every single one of us play 4 roles in the family, right? That are stacked up as time goes by. The first role is the role of a son or a daughter, okay? How many people here in this room are either a son or a daughter? Raise hands. So about a third of the room. So everyone else, you're an alien species, you don't have parents? Did you come from the area where the gorillas are or something like this? You don't have parents? I'll ask that question again. How many people here in the room are either a son or a daughter, meaning that you actually have parents? Oh, now everyone realized, okay? Looks like there's some fog. Bang your head a couple of times, right? We have to get the fog out, okay? And then there's a second role. So you have to lead as a son and daughter, right? It doesn't matter what age you are. So let's bring up this young student here, right? You come up to the front. So do you appreciate your parents?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. I promise this will not take 45 minutes, okay? This is only going to be 1 minute. So, how many meals did your mother cook for you so far in your life? How many thousands of meals did your mom cook for you?
I really can't count.
It's countless, right? Yeah. Wouldn't it be really amazing, like let's say this week, that you took over the kitchen and you cooked the family dinner so your mom could relax? What do you think? How do you think your mom would react to that as a son doing that?
She would really be happy because she has been actually training me on how to cook.
Oh, good. That's good. I'd like to pick up a few tips, as my wife is always asking me, you need to cook more, right? So I want a few recipes, right? But you know, and there's so many things you can do. So you get the idea? So you're leading as a son and daughter, right? You get the idea? And you can do so many other things like that too, okay? Those of you who are, how many of you can sit down now. I told you it'd only take a minute. How many of you are brothers and sisters? Have brothers and sisters? So it's serving your brothers and sisters, engaging with them. How many of you are married? You have a husband or a wife? So that's another role you play, right? You lead as a husband, you lead as a wife, you lead as a brother or sister. How many people here are either a father or a mother? Your parents, in other words. Okay, yes. So you have to lead as a dad. You have to lead as a mom, right? That takes massive leadership. So ultimately, hopefully, we'll actually reach all 4 roles if you get married, of course, right? You have to get married first to have children, right? And then you're off to the races. And then finally, you lead in the outer world. So for us here in the room, this means in the education sector. We're saying you have to take transformative leadership now, in 2025, today, immediately, because of how the world is transforming in front of us. And to the students, I told you, you're the CEO of your own education. Don't wait for the educators. Take leadership here in the outer world, right? You've got to get an education one way or the other, right? Okay. So this is us leading in these 3 worlds, right, simultaneously. The main principle, there's a universal principle at play in each one of these worlds. In the inner world, the principle is growth. You're either growing or you're dying. And the core competency is lifelong character and holistic growth, meaning not just the character growth, but also mental, cognitive, emotional, and physical vitality as well. In the case of the family, right, leading in your family, the core, we're biologically designed to form a family, to create a family, and raise up a family, right? And the core competency here is love. We have to learn how to love others, primarily learned in the family. And then the third principle is making a contribution, right? We're actually designed by the Creator to make a contribution to our fellow man, to do useful things for humanity, for others, for our family, for our students, right? If you're an educator, okay? If you're a school principal, for your teachers. And the core competency here is living for the greater good, okay? So now let's just do a quick capture of the current education system and how different it is to where we are today. What we have today in 2025 has not changed in 300 years. We still have the 19th century industrialized model, right? And this model is basically stuck in the comfort zone, right? So many people have tried to change it, right? And we've made very, very little progress, because this thing is like the Titanic. It has its own momentum, and it's very hard to turn it around, right? So, instead of trying to turn it around, we need to transform it, right? While it's failing, right? You can't turn this thing around. We've failed for 300 years. This is not serving us anymore, right? The conventional educational system, right? So we need to transform it, right? So what is the purpose of the current education system, right? The purpose of the current education system is lifelong learning, right? Lifelong learning. And in fact, what has just amazed me, right, in the last 10 years, that students are no longer called students, they're called learners, right? So why did that happen? Why did we stop calling the students and just instead give them this other name called the learners? In that case, we better change the name of the teachers as well and call them the transmitters. So the students learn knowledge or acquire it, and then the teachers transmit it. That would just be fair, right? So, it's a little bit silly, right? Where did this come from? Lifelong learning. Is this really what defines us as human beings? Because even words matter. You should write this down. Words matter. And the words we give to human beings really matter. So calling human beings learners, the students, right, is actually, not really respectful in my view, right? Because it's kind of like, you're only looking at part of who they are, their mind, not their spirit, not their emotional side, their physical side. So let's go back to the basics. Let's call them the students from now on, okay? I've been saying this for years around the world, and it's not changing, right? But I am convinced it's going to change. I'm going to keep at it. So are you going to, from now on, from today on, at least the people in this room, are you going to come? Let me ask these students here. Come on up here, master student, teacher, right? Do you want your teachers to call you the learner or the student?
Student.
Did you hear that? He wants to be called the student, not the learner, right? True or not? Why is that? Why?
I want to be called a student because
Not a learner, right?
Not a learner, a student. Let me pass it to Prosper.
Okay. I can't believe he keeps talking.
In my view, I would wish to be called a student but not a learner, because a learner, I think like a learner, you conceive what you're given, but when if you're a student, you are able to conceive and share what you're given, or even in your perspective, you share what you know, but not only what you're given. That's why I would wish to be called a student. Thank you.
Educators, are you hearing? Do you have any wax in your ears? Because if you have, you could get some Q-tips and take it out and pay close attention. These students want to be called students. This is not one way, it's not unidirectional anymore, right? Otherwise, I'm going to call you the transmitters. You're the teachers, right? They're the students, okay? Otherwise, we're going to call our children some other weird name, right, if this continues, okay? Kind of like Little Lambs or something like that. I don't know, you know. So, if I were to draw a pyramid of the current education system that's with us today, in 2025, it's been with us for 300 years, on the advent of AI, can you believe it? We have this model, an upside-down pyramid, where most of the real estate is focused on the acquisition of knowledge. And the proof of the pudding is, this is assessed through quizzes and final exams and tests, right? That's all you're assessing. How much knowledge did the kid retain in the past month, year, right? That's it. Let me ask you a question, right? Let's say we stick with this, okay? If your students get straight A's, would you be really proud? Because that's your goal, that they all get straight A's, right? If this school had 100% of the graduates getting grade A's, it would win a national prize, probably, right? Wouldn't it? I mean, 100% straight A's. This would be kind of like, this would be on TV for years maybe to come, right? UBC, yeah, it would be all over UBC. But let me ask you this question. Those students with straight A's, how is that an indicator that they have good character? It's not. How is that an indicator that they're able to relate well with others? How is that an indicator that they know how to solve problems? How is that an indicator that they're motivated and they're resilient? No, right? So we are focused on the, that's why I'm calling the, we're not clear about the purpose of education, folks, right? It needs to be re-examined, okay? Very little put on skills, relationships, or character, right? This is a model that's becoming, it's irrelevant. I have to update this slide, right? When we developed these a few years ago, it says a model becoming less and less relevant. I'm going to change it. A model that is irrelevant, right? It's irrelevant, okay? And there's a joke going around. It says that in our classrooms are 21st century students, that's these guys here, being taught by 20th century teachers using a 19th century curriculum on an 18th century calendar. We laugh at this, right? But it's the truth. 21st century students being taught by 20th century teachers using a 19th century curriculum on an 18th century calendar. This is barely education for a living, okay? This has to change, folks. This is ridiculous, okay? Yeah, it's ridiculous. So rethinking the purpose of education, okay? So when you looked at yourself in the mirror this morning, what did you see? So let's ask one of the ladies, because they spend a lot of time in the bathroom in the morning, okay? Right? So I want a woman volunteer here, right? Come up here to the front. Any woman who's willing to come up here and tell me what you saw in the mirror this morning, and how long you spend in the bathroom too. We want we're talking about character and integrity, so we need honesty, right? Okay then, Harriet, you come up here and you share. You stand up. Oh no, wait a minute. We have a volunteer right here. Come over here. Yes. Okay. First of all, how much time did you spend in the bathroom this morning? Making up and all that. I don't know what women do. I'm clueless. I don't know what they do, right? So, 20 minutes? Remember we talked about honesty? You know, this is Uganda time, in reverse, right? Now tell the truth.
I spent about 20 minutes in the bathroom.
Yes, you spent the first 20 minutes in the bathroom, then you left and realized, oh my God. Then you went back for another 20 minutes, right? And then you realized, then you were about to leave again. Oh my God, you go back for another 20 minutes, right? Because this is the way my wife is, okay? I have personal experience with this. So anyway, besides all that, that's a record. I think you have to go down as a woman you should be entered into the Guinness Book of Records. That you only spend 20 minutes as a young lady. That's amazing, right? Most women spend an hour. That's the global average, okay? So, what did you see? What did you see?
Actually, when I was out of the bathroom and I came to the mirror, I saw a beautiful woman.
Ah, okay. Wow. No modesty at all, huh? Because you were a very beautiful looking young lady, right? Yeah, I think that's what you saw, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm just messing with you. You're doing really good. Give her a round of applause. Thank you. Okay, very good. Yeah, so you saw your you saw your physical body, but you did not see the full totality of who you are. Did you see your emotional relational dimension? Did you see your mental cognitive dimension? Did you see your spiritual moral dimension? You need special mirrors for that. So we do not see the full totality of who we are. So human beings, we're the only species that has a fourth dimension, a spiritual moral dimension. The big five here in Africa, the lions, the elephants, right? What are the big five? The lions? They don't have, but what are the name of the big five? The lions?
The elephants, the buffaloes, the hippopotamus, crocodiles,
and the zebras and many others, right? There's the big five, the small five, and the minor five, right? None of them have a spiritual moral dimension. They don't have a conscience either. Only human beings have this, okay? So all of these four dimensions require continuous growth and development, right? And you require this is what it means leading in your inner world, right? This is what it means growing in all four dimensions, okay? And if I had to make a pyramid, right, that reflects this growth and development, this is what it would like. This is what it would look like. It's different from the other pyramid, the upside down knowledge acquisition pyramid. This is a stable pyramid, right, facing the right way, where the foundation is character. Character is linked to the spiritual moral dimension. The next one is relationships. That's the next most important thing to develop, right? Guided by character. And that's linked to the emotional relational dimension. Next is energy and vitality, which is linked to the physical vitality dimension. And finally, the application of knowledge and skills to solve problems. It's no longer the acquisition of knowledge, it's applying knowledge, right, to solve problems. And that's what's linked to the mental cognitive dimension, okay? So this is like a night and day different from what we're doing right now. This is the personal transformation framework. And this then informs the transforming education framework. It's a mirror of the same thing. So a school, or a classroom, or a university should be running on this pyramid, right? Where a lot more time, teachers, remember I said you're guiding the students, right? To cultivate character in collaboration with the parents, to learn how to relate well with each other, right? Where you have lots of energy and vitality, and where we're continually innovating, improving the school all the time, right? I see some improvements in the school since I was last here. Congratulations, there's new buildings going up and so on. So I noticed that, okay? So yeah, good job there. So the cause is ourselves. So we must transform ourselves first. And when I say we, it starts with the educators. It's never too late to transform yourself if you start now, okay? Never too late, okay? And for you young people, get rolling, okay? Yes, okay. And then the effect is an amazing classroom culture, school culture, right? University culture, and so on, okay? So the true purpose of education is mapped to developing all 4 human dimensions, not just the mental cognitive dimension, okay? Not just that one, okay? So to state it in another way, in a phrase, right? The true purpose of education is not lifelong learning, it's cultivating lifelong character and holistic growth. When I say holistic, it means mental cognitive growth, emotional relational growth, physical vitality growth, right? But I'm spotlighting the importance of the spiritual moral dimension in the phrase by spotlighting character, but the other dimensions are under the word holistic. Are you with me? Okay, otherwise the phrase will be too long, okay? And this is what actually ignites unlimited human potential. So, you know, unlimited human potential is not a mental construct, folks. We're looking in the wrong place. It actually is it has more to do with the spiritual moral dimension, right? You know, that is where our full potential, where the full unlock occurs, okay? So for the education sector, this is a transition from the current focus on focusing exclusively on the mental dimension and even the lower rungs of that dimension with this preoccupation with knowledge acquisition, right? And instead, focusing on nurturing all 4 dimensions, right? That's what we have to do. That is the purpose. We focus on the wrong purpose, right? We need to switch gears. I want you to create a transforming education task force in your schools immediately and start mapping out how you're going to transform your school and classroom and make sure there's a student on that task force. None of the educators wrote down the word, make sure there's a student on the task force. Harry, you just did, right? Let me see. There's a student on the task force. There we go. She just wrote a line. She didn't write the whole word, right? So, you know, if there's a series of transforming education, right? It starts with transforming people. We transform ourselves first. So the culture of this school should be a culture of lifelong character and holistic growth. Since I'm in a school right now, I'm going to say this school, right? It means all schools. And then when you do that, you create an amazing culture. Students will love coming here. They feel honored, respected. Teachers will come in with a smile on their face. Even the administrators who have all kinds of headaches will love coming to school every day, right? Because the school is growing, it's developing, you're innovating, you're doing new things, you put up new buildings, you're bringing AI in. I mean, isn't that exciting? Right. And then that school has continuous and rapid innovation. Schools are barely innovating, folks. You know that, right? I travel the world. You know, if there's any sector that should be continually innovating, it's the education sector. It means individual schools, universities, TVETs, and classrooms, okay? Continuous innovation. Students, you guys should be continually innovating, right? And then when the educators are setting the model, the tone, that's when the students are going to actually, like imitate that, right? They will imitate the adults. And then you're preparing the students to be future ready and purpose driven. Not just future ready, but purpose driven. That's the effect, right? So you start by transforming yourself, right? To change anything around you, whether it's your relationship with your husband or wife, between a teacher and a student, between an assistant deputy principal and a teacher. You start by changing something in yourself first, right? Because we have unlimited potential, And it starts with knowing yourself and growing from there. Warren Buffett, you know who he is? The CEO and founder of Berkshire Hathaway. In one of his annual meetings, right? Stockholder meetings, shareholder meetings. This happens once a year in Omaha in the United States. People will give an arm and a leg to be in this meeting. He's the most successful investor, period, right? And, you know, after he gives his, you know, annual report, you could say, he opens it up to a very long Q&A session. One of the people in the room asked this question: Mr. Buffett, what do you think we should be investing in right now? This was during COVID, right? And he gave a very interesting answer. He said the most important thing, that person, by the way, the intent of that question was which stock should I invest in, right? Should I invest in Google? Should I invest in you know, Home Depot, right? Or should I invest in Apple computer, Apple, right? And he said this, he said, what you should invest in is yourself. Because if you invest in a stock, right, that company could go belly up. It's not certain that it's going to keep going up, right? But when you invest in yourself, there is no downside, there's only pure upside. Because you will become more productive, you will become more valuable in your role in any company, right? And your wages will go up, right? Your wealth will go up, you'll have a better family, and so on and so forth, right? So this is coming from the corporate world, right? So let me, I'm almost ready to wrap up here. So we talked about, I misspelled intelligence here, sorry. So we're talking about intelligence here, and you know, these four intelligences, right? Biological intelligence is you know, internal, right? It's an internal intelligence. But the other three, artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial superintelligence, are external. They're just you know, they're just an agent of biological intelligence, right? That's all it is. But there is a vastly superior intelligence than all of that, right? There's a vastly superior intelligence than artificial superintelligence even, and it's spiritual intelligence. And that's not external, that's internal, right? Okay? So the reason for that is that because it's linked to the spiritual moral dimension, which is primary, right? And this is the key to unlocking your full human potential. Apologies for a misspelling here on intelligence, but spiritual intelligence, okay? So these other intelligences, right? Like these transformative platforms that I was talking about, like AI, robotics, solar energy, battery storage, autonomous transportation, you know, blockchain, and so on. It's never been more important that they must be guided by transformative people. They must be guided by transformative people. There's a new book that came out in February of this year. It's called Stellar, S-T-E-L-L-A-R. I would encourage you to read it, right? Because the authors, Tony Seba and James Arib, they talk about these transformative platforms, right? And they said that what's absolutely critical, they're talking about this in the last quarter of the book, that these transformative platforms must be guided by transformative people, not by people in a legacy state, right? And if we don't transform ourselves and we remain like we are, this is going to get out of hand. This has to be guided by human beings who have a spiritual dimension, which has a moral, ethical component, right? You know what I mean? So human beings created the AI. It did not come from some, you know, interstellar species, right? Okay, we created it. And we're going to create newer technologies, quantum computers and so on down the road that's going to drive the AI on steroids, right? So we're in charge. We have to guide this very well, and the way we do that is we transform ourselves with lifelong character and holistic growth. Okay? I already mentioned all these points. Okay, to wrap up, right? To find out more, right? Go to globalpeace.org/TE. T means transforming, E means education 2050. So there you can view the 2050 concept paper. You can also get the blueprint for transforming education, the position paper. What you have there on your table right now is the promotional flyer, right? But at the very end of the flyer, in case you mistype or anything, is the website at the very bottom. See that? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to this website and read the Blueprint for Transforming Education position paper. And make that the anchor of the Transforming Education Task Force that I'm asking you to create, where each one of these strategies is expanded upon, okay? There's about 4 or 5 pages of content, all research-based on each one of these, right? So your Transforming Education Task Force, make sure there's a student on it, and this will give you the ammunition to really transform your schools, okay? So thank you very much for the small time that I could spend with you here this morning. It's been a great privilege to be here. Thank you to Kyambogo College for hosting us this morning. We really appreciate it. Harriet, give my regards to your principal, right? And thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. Thank you.
Not that they know what they want. They also know a formula to be used to teach them. They know. To deploy them, we are only guiding them, isn't it? We are master facilitators. We are no longer the other teacher of the 19th century. So it's a collaborative model. Kasavu kanyama. Kasavu kati? So I want to end here and say, Global Peace Foundation is here dedicated to deliver this blueprint to transform education for national development. We are here to deliver that. And we believe we can achieve sustainable peace through the door of education, which will give us the 4 dimensions: character and holistic education development. Do we remember them? Number 1 was the 4 dimensions. I'm just taking you on so that you go while you remember them. Spirit. No, from number 1. Number 1 is what? No, I want to check you. What was number 1? Spiritual. Clap for him. You are right. You are right. Clap for him. And then number 2? Mental. Clap for her. Number 3? Clap for her. Number 3? Number 4? Emotional. Is it? Double check. Physical vitality? Are you listening? I'm double checking you, because those are the 4 dimensions that represent the whole thesis. And you must ask yourself, are these students, are they having the 4 dimensions as they graduate? Every day you must be able to see the contribution of the parent in these nurturing systems. The 4 are important. So when we say character and holistic education development, those 4 dimensions represent now the roots. You can take it even in your home, in your own family. Are you a wife to somebody? The husband is in a cavalry. For you have the children. On a daily basis, you must be able to assess how you are delivering the 4 dimensions. You are a father. How are you delivering them? It does not just in the classroom setting only. So even in your own life, Have you learned something today? So I want to say, Mr. Ezra, come and help us to close this session, and we end here. May God bless you. We are going to create a WhatsApp group and follow up on every conversation. Share and share. And very soon we'll be able to visit you physically in your schools so that we organize the Transforming Education Africa Summit next year. How many love that? Will you participate? We want to call all the head teachers in the country, the parents, the Minister of Education. Then we launch this declaration. We're going to have a declaration signed committing the parents and the teachers and the managers. I think it's a good beginning. God bless you. God bless you.
Well, thank you so much, our chapter president, Global Peace Foundation, our vice president, and the presenter of the day, Dr. Tony Divine, our host, head teacher, Madam Harriet, the Minister of Education, represented by the Education Officer for Nakawa, KCC, all the gallant educators who want to say thank you for making this day to come true. May we join our hands in an applause. Basically, Dr. Tony Divine has reminded us on the core component. He has also enabled us get a broad understanding of education. Education is not an event. Is it fine? It is a lifelong process. That's why he has emphasized the key stakeholders, the key the student, no more calling that person learner. The what? The student, the not even the teacher, the guide, because we don't have teachers now, and the parent. How many stakeholders? The student, the guide, and the parent. This mode is already being done by successful communities. Indians. What is the ranking of Indians in our economy here? What is the ranking? Aha. While a teacher, I used to teach some of the students for those families. When you go to teach in their homes, the students will sit there, the mother, then yourself. You cannot teach their children without the mother. She wants to know, what are you teaching these people? Remember, education has an element of values. Are you aware? So she must be conscious whether you are transmitting the right what? Values. We will be talking of Parents' Days. Do you now need Parents' Days? Yeah? Aha. Parents are now integrated in the what? Integrated in the learning process. Open those gates. You lose nothing. When these parents come to the classroom, they want to know what they teach in the what? Aha. The entire process is simple. We used to hear what to call fire places. Have you heard of fireplaces? And that's where the learning used to take place. So the fireplaces were replaced by schools. in the school, let's have all the key stakeholders involved in the learning process. I want to request the dignitary from KCC to come and give her closing remarks, and then the host head teacher, and then our ambassador will lead the declaration. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Once again, I'm Dr. Mary Anyango. I work with KCCA station at Nakawa Division as education officer. I work with my supervisor, Mr. Paul Malala, who was unable to come, and he sent me to be with you in this workshop. And greetings from KCCA. For your information, the entire country is having a MDD competition in Mbarara, and ball games, national primary ball games championship at Yumbe, where most of our staff have gone. I would have seen our colleague from other division, Kawempe Central, Makinde and Lubaga. All of them have been given that assignment. That's why I'm alone here. We usually move in a team of the 5. Nevertheless, KCCA is well represented. What we have attained this morning is very, very important to our learners, teachers who have come with their heads, everyone who is here. We learned a lot. The content was used, the time was limited. Nevertheless, we have learned. I like the head teacher of the students today from Makerere College. This one, I think he has already qualified to head the school. Because the questions he was asking, even the answers he was responding to were so meaningful. May you stand up, please? I think it is this one. Yeah. No, please sit. These are the intelligent students we have in our schools of Kampala. I must thank the coordinator, Mr. Okech, for inviting a number of schools. All these schools look like almost all secondary schools in Kampala. We don't have quite a number. Government aided secondary, they are 22 government aided secondary. Even private secondary, they are not all that so many, but we have a number of primary schools. With UNEP centers, they are 469 on our database, primary with PLE UNEP centers, quite a huge number. But look like this workshop was targeting secondary, I don't know. Because the primary, I was trying to list down the list of schools, the majority from secondary. I know it will trickle down. Somebody said this kind of workshops will begin from a nursery setting, so that our parents get sensitized adequately, and they should stop forcing children to do what maybe they are not ready for. I'd like to say something about the head teacher of students. Much as he really educated us a lot, but somewhere he was going astray by suggesting that if the teacher does not give them what they want, they will disturb the teacher, or the teachers should stop wasting their times. That's not the way to go. When you are at learning institutions, you are guided by policies. You have limits, and when you go beyond, the law will catch up with you. But you see, if you were with fellow students only, look like you are inciting them to misbehave when the teachers do not meet your demand. When there are issues, you sit on a round table and you sort it out. You talk of squaring the balance several times, but you do it on a round table. Otherwise, the positive sides what you gave us was more than those only two, whereby you say teachers waste your time, parents force you to do what you don't like the student. It is true. By the way, the parents should be sensitized from S3 and S4 rather than waiting for S what? In S senior 5. See, these children, by the time they sit for their O-level examinations, they already know what they do. Now when the parents drop them to school, the school start giving them something, I don't know. It's really, I'm a parent in more than one schools, including King College, Budo. There now, if the student does not want to take what the school has given, then the only option is that to try another option. See, sometimes going to a new place is not so good for learners. They are now used to their environment, to their teachers, and they want to remain. This is things that need serious discussions with the schools, administrations. Bringing up a child holistically needs a supportive hands. It needs collaborations. So parents are involved, even the community. We need a lot from the community. We need labor force from the community. We need security from the community. Even the learners, they have to come from the community. So we need to work very well with our community. We have a national tool for inspection, whereby there is that element of community involvement in the school. Most of these schools in Kampala here, we have that tool at our offices. Find time to give you this national tool for inspection. It does not cover the teacher preparations, but also you have your area. The teachers, there were quite many here. There is also this area of the teachers' leadership, and very many areas, about 4 key areas. The community and the school, the teacher, the head teacher, then teaching and learning in the same tool. It is not yet the secondary is not yet uploaded, but for primary it is uploaded here. We no longer carry the hard paper for primary, but for secondary we have it. Mr. Good, kindly pass by, give you, so that you give you that tool, National Secondary, it is National Secondary Inspection Tool. I give you like 5 copies, you distribute to aid improvements in our school. Students, a few of you have come here, you are the ambassador for you friends who have remained behind, and you have a beautiful title here. You are called what? You are No, they have a title here, Peace Patrons. Do you have a patron clubs at schools? Do you have them? Have you recruited many students there? Do you meet? When I happen to visit your schools, I would love the head teachers to share with us the minutes to show that you are active. You have to meet and we see the minutes. Then are you implementing the resolutions you have put? Where there are minutes, there are resolutions. Then you go ahead to do what? To implement at the same time setting up new targets or plans. So let us cascade this. I will also try to do my best and try to make sure that also primary schools, they have what? Peace club. Not so? I think it is a bit different from patriotism. Patriotism is somehow political, something like that. So what we need is us to change. Look at things positively. If you take things in all positive directions, life will be easy, even learning will be easy at schools. So I don't want to take up a lot of time, so I think this is enough. Thank you so much, our presenter, Professor Tony Divine. Please come again. We have so many schools. This is just an iceberg. We didn't give you all the schools. And we have the structure where we work and channel down to everyone. We have school leaders. We have the head of private schools. We also have head of government schools. They know the schools under their jurisdiction. So this is Nakawa. We work hand in hand with Mr. Pius. Please stand up. When we want secondary schools, it's the one who mobilized for us. I believe he is the one who mobilized most of the schools here. I take the opportunity to thank Kyambogo University, I've just exited from Kyambogo University, Kyambogo College Schools for accepting to host us, and the coordinator, Frida is here, right? Yeah, Mr. Okech. We thank the head teacher also for accepting us, the participants, the students. Thank you so much for coming. Next time, we request that we increase on the participants so that we have a larger coverage. Thank you so much. I wish Janimasis back.
I would like to appreciate our speaker this morning, Doctor. Thank you so much for what you've given to us. I think we've learned. And I'm very sure we are going to reflect on this and put this into practice. As we come to the conclusion of this program this morning, we should reflect on our transformative power of education. Our current education system aims, we need to reflect on that, which should aim at fostering lifelong learning, cultivating character and holistic growth. Once we foster that, reflect on that, then we shall be good to go. I would like to thank all the organizers of this program, and I would also like to thank you for choosing Kyambogo College School to take on the mantle to host this. We are so grateful, we can't take it for granted. We are so appreciative of that, and we would like to report that when need comes, please, we are available. We shall be able to give you the venue that you need. I would like to thank all the partners, the educators, the students for their dedication to see that we transform education in our country. Together we shall shape a brighter future. May God bless you. you can answer.
Thank you so much, our esteemed head teacher. May I then request that we all rise for the anthem, and then we are going to have a closing group photo after the anthem.